You know what? There's a little bit of a static. I think if you
So
move,
maybe there's a phone that happens. Let me see.
I think it's like a connector. I don't know if it's like your
Still?
no, no,
Still?
no,
Yeah,
it's good
it was
now.
the phone. It was the phone too close.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we are back with Love in the Wild, and I'm not gonna lie, I took a little bit of a break because I did some IT issues in the back end and threw my whole thing off. So we are back. I am here with Andre Parody. He is an expert in relationship coaching, particularly with women, but also with men. Andre has a background as an NLP coach and has traveled around the world to gather information about women and men interactions and culture. Andre works with clients to help them communicate better and teach them to balance their masculine and feminine energy through the knowledge of psychology, gender dynamics, and communication to help individuals overcome past trauma and break free from unhealthy relationship patterns. So, we chatted a little bit before this episode, and I'm not going to lie. If you're ready for a no bullshit conversation, grab your iced coffee and your earpods and let's get into it.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And yeah, if you're ready to have it straight, tell it straight. That and the reason why I'm so direct. First, I'm a male, so we kind of tend to be direct. That there's this, nothing I talk about is my opinion. None of it is my opinion. It's science, nature, biology, psychology, anthropology, biology of our bodies, testosterone brain versus estrogen brain. Da 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 da. But I've been at this for like 18 years solid. I speak with certainty. Like I don't kind of tiptoe, right? I'll tell you how it is because what works best is still what works best. And it's a little bit counterintuitive and countercultural because of the culture, but it's still what works best. So my clients who succeed in a relationship kind of take the guidance and apply it. And I'm going to show off a little bit. I'm also an ordained minister. So some of my clients, I married them myself. I did two last summer. I went to Texas, where you are, and I went to Vegas for another one. So the proof's in the pudding, right? But sometimes it sounds weird. So I want people to understand that I'm on your side, ladies, right? Ladies sometimes will take me the wrong way because I'm direct and you know, I speak with certainty and sometimes it's counted. And I'm not here to offend you or to trigger you. I'm here to bring some understanding. So please know my intentions are not, though, I'm not a guy trying to tell you what to do. And it's not at all what I'm doing. I'm trying to bring clarity to alleviate pain and confusion.
I love that. I mean, I'm a very like highly motivated. Anyone who follows me knows like I am a very hard worker. I'm very driven. I'm very like I would say, I'm very much of a go-getter. So
Yep.
I handle my shit and I do it well, kind of a thing.
Nice.
But at the same time I also want a man who is a leader. And there is I've dated people where I'm like you have to outlead me. Like that just is what it is. And I think in this almost like soft culture that we have,
Mm.
it doesn't change the dynamics of men and women. You might
Yep.
be offended because you're like, oh, well, I don't think this is how I should be treated, or social media is telling me this, or but it really like when you get down to the biology of what a man is and what a woman is, probably what you're saying is like, it's just going to be what it is.
Right. And again, it's the data, the science, the research, the interviews, like thousands of people, right? Like just kind of decoded what works best. That's all it is. What works best. You could do it backwards. It won't last a lifetime. It'll last for a while. It'll break and you'll think, whatever. So that's what I'm saying. It's not what works best in the realm of relationship in these modern days. It's not going back to the 50s. That's ridiculous, but it's pretty traditional, I have to say. And what works because my nature is different than your nature. We're completely different, but we're made to fit. Just like our genitals, right? Completely separate, but made to fit beautifully. Well, our
Hmm.
temperament and how we're wired, what my strengths are completely different than my wife's strengths, right? We could actually make each other wrong for being so different, right? We're motivated by different things. We think differently, right? What motivates her doesn't motivate me. What she thinks is cool, I think is stupid, and vice versa, right? Like we don't match in any way. We're two different machines, but we don't make each other wrong for this. We can actually find a way to come together. And that's really the nature of all of it. So that's the tricky part because we're so different and we want the other one to act like us, speak like us, to give us what we want, what we need. And then if you make them wrong for that, right? Like men are
Right.
pigs, men are toxic, men are dangerous, you can't trust them, they're cheaters. Really? That's all everywhere in the culture. How's that going to work for you? Like, that's ridiculous.
Right.
Boys are all of that, right? There's four types of men in my world. Boys will be all that. They're the toxic cheaters. They're the ones who don't want to take care of a woman. They don't want to get married. They don't want to step in. They don't want responsibilities. They just want to play and take from you. Men are complete opposite. They look the same, four different
Hmm.
types of men. So, right. So again, if you can make half the planet wrong or toxic for who they are, this is what I see every day. That's the freaking problem. It's not man.
So, what is there like a turning point from when you become a boy to a man?
Well, nature, if you're raised in a system, a family system that is normal, a boy goes into a guy, comes into a man gradually, naturally, and turns into a gentleman, typically older in life. That's just kind of the nature of that's the way it should go. But if a boy who doesn't have a father figure to teach him to be masculine, to teach him appropriate use of masculine strength, to be accountable, right? To be accountable to everything, to build his character, to show him where the man, needs to be in the world without role modeling. If there's no daddy role modeling and he takes a single mom, which I call Mama Bear is providing protect for the kids. So Mama Bear will castrate the boy. Be a nice guy. Don't be like your dad. Don't be like the other man. So out of her injury will castrate him, turn him to a nice guy. And nice guys, they actually think they're better than the rest of us. However, women don't like nice guys because you don't feel safe with them. So you put them in the friend zone, and now we have different kind of problems, right? So boys go to guys and to men if they have appropriate modeling and male, men guy mentorship. Naturally, hopefully it's dad, but it could be an uncle, it could be a grandfather, it could be a coach of any kind, like in the presence to teach him how to be appropriately masculine, to take accountability, to take charge, to take responsibility, just to but that's what men do. And that's how it empowers us. So there should be a natural growth in that, but some guys get stuck in being boys and it's circumstances. Guys get stuck in being guys. Like the graduation doesn't happen because of the circumstances. Not their fault necessarily, but you want to know who you're dealing with because they look the same. They all look the same. I always say having a male in front of you doesn't mean you have a man in front of you. And
Hmm.
what nature does, that's a real kind of mind screw, is if you're as a woman or in your masculine energy everything's polarized. If nature is polarized, what
Hmm.
attracts is opposite, right? That's nature. So if you're in your masculine energy, you only will attract those soft men. You're only going to attract the boys. And the boys don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to marry you. They don't want your kids. They don't want any of that crap. They want you to pay. They left the 50-50, right? They love you. Go, girl, get that promotion. He's on the couch with a dog, smoking a joint, writing his music. Like, he's driving your car, lives in your apartment. Like, that's what they do, right? I know you're laughing, but you know what I'm talking about, right? They
I do
look
because I
like
dated
men.
them.
I know. Okay, so if you're new masculine, that's all you attract, and you'll think that's men, and now you resent men and men on crap and all the stuff that come. Nature is this way of bringing to you the opposite. And so the job for me is when women are the masculine, which is fine, but how do we recalibrate that you actually could be in your feminine to actually attract the man that you want? The men, natural masculine men provide, protect, cherish, give, support, lead, pay, naturally. No manipulation needed. That's the masculine man. But if you're inverted, you never meet them. And when they see you, they avoid you. They avoid you like the plague, right? That energy, you understand, masculinity is not attracted to masculinity. Men have no instinct to help another man in
Okay.
any way, right? That's his job to handle this shit. But the feminine, we would jump right in, want to protect it, right? It's just kind of like this natural thing of keeping you safe, keeping you okay. Like feminine energy kind of lifts our spirit, right? It literally like lights us up, and we just want to protect it. You don't have to be my girlfriend. You just have to be a lovely woman, and we'll protect it. Are you good? Are you
Yeah.
hot? Are you cold? I'm going to the coffee room. You want some coffee? You want some water? I'm coming. That's man. Boys don't do that. I just went off, didn't I? I'm sorry.
No, I love it because in my, I think like my 20s, we'll call it my whole 20s, I was definitely more in my masculine. I was very independent. I was like, I don't need anybody. That's just how I was
Mm.
raised. Like,
Yep, yep,
I was
yep.
raised to be a strong woman. And I realized up until like, maybe 2 years ago, really,
Mm.
is like I was attracting the same kind of guy that was
Uh,
like not motivated, wouldn't, think of me, the boy, the guy, the whatever you call it.
boys.
Yeah. And my first relationship after I got out of like a divorce was the same kind of guy. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this has to be me at this point. So I
There
really
you
like,
go.
I
There
was
you
like,
go.
they can't all be this way. Like,
Right.
if they are, then like count me out. I'm done with dating, but like I'm going to do the work. So
Good
I
girl.
ended up getting really deep into therapy, being almost like I'm not going to try anymore. Like I was
Yeah.
like I'm not going to, pull my wallet out on a date. Like I'm not going to do this. I'm going to like sit back and see who you are. And if you're showing me a person that I don't want to be with, like, okay, we're done.
Ta-da! Ta-da!
Like, if you ask me to pay for a date, I will gladly do it. I have
That's
the
ridiculous.
money, and then I'll be like, and then we're done. Like,
Right, right, right. Now, by
you
the way,
know?
in my world, you can spot the different types, right, within one conversation because they're very predictable. All four are super predictable. What they say is revealing on the spot. And the boys think they're slick and they're smooth, which they are. They're very seductive. They'll tell you everything you want to hear. All your teenage fantasies of Prince Charming, he will be and say, and you're like, I knew they existed. And a few months later, your life is hell because he's a taker, not a giver, right? Men are
Yes.
givers. These guys are takers. So, like my first job with my clients is to teach them boys, guys, men, gentlemen, because they're very predictable. They'll say so. If the love bombing crap is exactly what that is. Like I had a client second date with a dude. Are you ready? That's a boy. This is the manipulation, but it's very, very powerful. He's like, I'm so glad I found you. I realize now what love truly is. 2 dates.
But
That's love bombing, right? But women will fall for that when they're needy,
mhm.
right? And next thing you know, he's moving into your apartment. You're lending him money. That he's going to pay back. He does. Then he's driving your car. You're walking his dog. Like it's insane, right?
Yep.
Insane how slick they are. It's not your fault, right? And then when the charade falls and you realize he's never going to pull up, you lose respect for him. Hopefully sooner than later. But like that's what men are. No, that's what boys are. So trying to
Yeah.
spot them in like one date, one conversation. Okay, got it. Next, lose my number. Because men do not talk like this at all. They don't behave like that at all, right? They're predictable in different ways. The problem is you ladies don't know. Like on a date, men are very clear why they're there. You're just hoping that he likes you. Your lipstick and your eyeliner is perfect and your mascara is fine and you think like pretty and perfect is going to make, that's not it. That's not all he's looking for. He's looking for pretty. That's the first magnet. But on a date is who you are energetically. And he's going to ask you questions to figure out if you're a fit, right? So if you interrogate him, that's his version of get the hell out of here. I'm
Yeah.
here. I know I'm looking for, and I'm asking. So if you flip the script because you don't want to waste your time, how many times I hear this? I'm not going to waste my time. So are you married? Have you kid? Like just interrogate the guy. They instantly go out. She was lovely, but she was pretty, but she was nice, but she's a pain in my ass on the first date. No, and that's what you should do with boys, by the way, right? So you have to know who you're dealing with, know your audience.
Right. But
So sorry.
I also think like that's how us as women were taught, in like movies and,
Eh,
especially on social media now these days. Like it's, I don't need no man. I need to take control. I need to take charge and I need to
true.
like weed out the bad ones. And I don't necessarily like I remember watching this movie where she pulls out like his dating profile and she's like, "Oh, so, you like this and it says you like this." And it was a cute rom-com. And so, subliminally in our heads it's like, "Well, this is what you're supposed to do on a date." Because, your parents, your mom, your dad, they aren't coming on a date with you. And they're
Right.
not saying like this is how you should act. So you're watching these movies and you're like, "Well, it works out in the end for
I know it's
Katherine
all.
Heigl, so,
Yep.
this
Yeah,
is how I
no.
should act."
And women have this fantasy about what it should be, right? And my favorite thing that I always decode for my clients, I'm like, women are taught to make a B list, like like who he has to be list, right? So make a long list of he has to be this tall, making this much money, 25 things later. Well, that's a unicorn. These men don't exist. So you will delete and pass. So your B list is very, very dangerous, ladies. You want similar value, but the rest of it is stupid. Honestly, it's stupid. The guy doesn't have to be 6 foot tall to be valuable and a good husband and a father. But if you
Mhm.
make that a priority, like you understand, only 14% of the population is over 6 feet tall. Hello, odds down. Now if he has to make 100,000, you're talking 0.01. So you end up really losing on everybody in the name of my standards up here, right? I'm gonna say this is gonna be toxic. Take a breath, people, ladies, right? But everybody's average, and even average ladies out there want the top guy, and they end up alone because the top guy, the person have millions of options. Do you know what I mean? And what they're looking for, if they're good men, is warm, feminine, lovely, radiant, joyful, feminine, glow women. Masculine men want feminine women. Masculine men are not attracted to masculine women. So the guys that you want require you to be feminine. And if you're none of that, They'll look at you as gorgeous as you could be and just go, nope. That's nature, right? All right, so here we go. Your turn.
I will say, like, I used to have that list of it was more like physical, societal, call it environmental,
Yep.
whatever
Yep.
traits. And then once I really started doing that inner work, I was like, it has to be like more characteristic traits. Like
Right.
it has to be values. It has to
Yes.
be like a non
Yes.
negotiable for me is like, I need someone who is like a hustler that is like very
Driven, which is
driven, you know, like,
that's
I'm like,
yeah.
I can't do the, like, 9 to 5 complacent guy, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm so driven that I'm like, you either need to understand it
Yeah.
and support it or be right there with me to understand really what I'm
But
going
but
through.
get this, if you work more than him, right? Again, that's the part that people don't really understand fully. As a woman, you could be all of that, beautiful, fantastic, go girl, whatever, right? But if the guy is not like on that kind of track where you could actually see him working as hard or harder, pushing, conquering himself, the world, whatever his mission is, right? If you look down at the guy, you can't respect him. You
Right,
can't respect him. So you have to look at him, up at the guy. And up at the guy, meaning he has to be bigger than you, stronger than you, make more money than you, taller than you, all the goodies that you want that are traditional, right? But if you're up here to the top as a woman, there's nobody up there.
right.
And that's called hypergamy, by the way. Have you heard of hypergamy? It's nature.
No. Tell me about it.
Hypergamy is the natural feminine need to be able to look up at somebody so they can respect and feel safe with him. So I'll give you an example. So a nurse can marry and be in a relationship with a male nurse, a doctor, or a surgeon, right? Equal or up is normal,
Okay,
right? It's instinctual. So that's the only way you can respect the man and feel safe with the man. He's bigger, stronger. He's got right. The nurse will never marry the guy in the kitchen. Hypergamy. You know what I mean?
okay.
Like you can't look if you look down on the guy, you can't respect them. You need somebody your level, right? But get this: this is what's happening in our culture. That's difficult for ladies. Is the higher you go, the less man there's up there, and then you all want the same dude on top. You know what I mean? You all want the same dude on top,
Yeah.
right? The guy who's like matches your level, but there's four of them up there. And they're either married or playing with all of y'all, and they don't want to commit because they have all the options. You see the problems? Now, it's kind of a conundrum. So I'm not saying don't build your life, but understand that mechanism. If you don't understand it, will keep you like in a place where there's options don't exist. So I want to say it's going to sound terrible. Here goes, but you could be all of that, right? Lower your standards if you actually want somebody who's masculine who does this. It doesn't have to be making $200,000 a year. It could be a blue collar guy who's going to be dedicated, devoted, right? Show up, go to work like a dog, right? To provide and protect, absolutely. You can make more money, right? Now that's the partnership, right? That's the
Mhm.
teamwork that I talked about. But if he's a solid guy, you could still look up at him, right? His finances is counterintuitive. Like, so your instinct, if you don't catch it, will keep you isolated up there. Just saying.
Right.
I see this every day.
Well, and how do you like, I guess how as a woman do you deal with that when you're, society, like life is fucking expensive right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, like how do you as a single woman who's trying to, still take care of herself and go work out and, the makeup
Whew,
and
whew.
car, and, it's like, how do you live comfortably, And then like it's that fine line, I
Yes,
suppose.
so that's where the wheels come off. I'm gonna tell you, right? So I go to a very fancy gym here in Los Angeles, right? All these beautiful, thin women, boss babes, right? And they work out 4 times a week, trying to keep up the whole thing. They're often here anyway, kind of overly processed, right? They're like trying too hard to be perfect, and we don't really look up to that. Like you look insecure. But anyway, my point is, right, they're so busy being all of that, working like dogs, keeping up the beauty, the hair extension, the false eyelashes, the fake tan, and all this, whatever comes with nothing wrong with that. But there's a point where all of that is keeping you. Women will do this it initially starts with a B plan. So I'm going to get independent because I don't want to be dependent because if I find somebody to get married and then we break up or he divorces me, right? That's my protection plan. So you go into B plan, right?
Mhm.
As a protection. I get it. I completely get it. Makes sense, right? However, 40 hours, 50 hours a week becomes your A plan, and there's no space to date. There's no space or energy to do all of that, right? Women hate dating because they're exhausted, right? You come home at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, you eat, and you're done 5 days a week, right? On the
Mm,
weekend, it's about the chores and the shopping and all the crap, the laundry, right? Like women don't have the energy because they're B plan to protect themselves, to get themselves in a safe position just in case. Well, that just in case becomes the A plan. And there's no time, there's no energy, there's no space. Understand that to find a healthy relationship, right? It's like finding a job. You can have a full-time job, but when when you're done working, you're out there hitting the pavement. Like you gotta, that's the way to get an
mhm,
advice. So dating is the same. Finding a good relationship is the same. It's not passive, it's very active, takes time and energy. And when you're exhausted, you don't have it. So you go home and, eat your yogurt, pet the cat, and go to sleep. Like, that's not gonna get you a man or a relationship, right? You have to be out there. So that's the conundrum. Your B plan becomes your A plan by default. You're not available. You're not in the
yeah.
world. You're not playing the game. You're not, you know. And by the way, anxious women are not magnetic. We just really rather avoid you altogether. And that's problem number two. I'm just saying.
I'm a very anxious person. Just by nature. I've always been this
Well,
way.
women tend to be more anxious by nature because you have all these what if, what if, what if, what if we're out of money, what if you cheat somebody, what if, what if. So you spend your life in what ifs and fear. I get it. Part of it is instinct to kind of keep you safe, right? But you want to put that on top of working 40, 50-hour weeks, right? Providing for
Mhm.
yourself, paying the rents, paying the mortgage, right? Paying the car insurance, paying for the car, but it's overwhelming. So everything lovely about you is out the window. Like peace, warmth, radiance, femininity, right? Joy, all gone. And then you wonder why men don't see you, right? Women will say, like, I'm pretty, I have everything. How come nobody dates me? I had this men all around me at work. I'm like, energetically, you're not available.
So what you're saying is that it's more about energy, and going
Typically.
back to what you said about the gym, it's not about, like, looking perfect?
Everybody's average. Like, what are you looking for perfect for? No, everybody, look at the men and women everywhere. Everybody's average, right? There's a few on top, there's a few at the bottom. Everybody else is in the middle, right? So you want this in the world of this from number one, right? Like, and I
Mhm,
understand in a culture where I'm going to say it, right? So what nature does is the masculine, right, picks a woman with her eyes first, right? So
okay,
the beauty and the femininity that you guys are putting together every day, right, to magnetize and attract us, absolutely, that's nature, right? Our eyes drive us,
mhm,
right? Pretty girl, ooh, and then we go investigate. That's the masculine. But when
mhm,
women are their masculine, they do the same thing. They want a tall, handsome, pretty boy, you know what I mean? Where the girlfriend goes, oh my God, he's so hot, Oh, is he hung? Like, oh my God, he's so hung. Oh my God. So when you're in your masculine, you pick men, when men pick women with your eyes first, but pretty man, right? Handsome guys, and they're players, right? They get away with murder. You could have.
mhm.
I've had women say, "I know he's got 3 other girlfriends, oh, but I don't care. He gets to be. He's with me once a week." Like she thinks that's a flex. So I'm just saying, if you're gonna pick a guy with your eyes, get yourself ready to get played with. And these guys don't commit. They're players, right? They want to have fun. Everybody throws themselves at them. They get away with murder. But I mean, so a good guy isn't pretty. A natural male who's got his life together, who's got something in the world is chasing after, is not handsome typically. He's not
Yeah,
tall, right? But he may look very ordinary and made $2 million a year, right? But he's not tall enough. Well, that's right. So I'm gonna say this:
mhm,
the masculine, whether it's a man or a woman, picks with their eyes, right? And for ladies, that's gonna be caught. That's that. Some of you, it's explaining your life right now. I'm hoping, but get this: a true feminine picks a partner with her ears. It's his character, is who he is, what he's up to in the world, how he wants to be a husband, right? And have his wife work less. Like you've done this, right? That's where you went from like going for
mhm.
and you realize, wait a second, it's me who's picking the wrong type. And then you go, do the work and realize it's the character that matters,
Yep.
right? Like my brother is short. His eyes are too close together. It looks like a little monkey with 3 hairs on top of his head. Now he's not ugly. He's like less than ordinary. But that fool makes a superior court judge in Canada. Like that fool has always made a ton of money.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? And that makes him, he's capable. He's got his shit together, right? He's a man. And the women are throwing themselves at him all the time, right? Not because he's pretty, because he's not because he's tall, because he ain't. But damn it, does he know who he is and puts it out.
Yeah.
That's a man. Thank you. Stop
Yeah.
picking with your eyes, ladies. Stop picking with your eyes. These guys are no good.
And I've
Most of
always,
them.
like I've talked to, like when I've just either been dating or just in casual conversation, people are
Mhm.
like, especially when I lived in LA, because I would be around like I modeled when I was in LA. So when I was naturally just around male models,
Yep.
and people would be like, oh my gosh, like, did you ever date a male model? Did you ever date an athlete? Did you ever like whatever? And I was like, honestly, like I can look at them and say that they are beautiful human beings because
Yep.
they are. I'm like,
Yep. Oh yeah.
gorgeous human, six pack, like,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
but I was like, that look actually repulses me. Like, because there's two sides to every sword where it's like you have the really attractive person and you know that women are just throwing themselves and they're
Yep.
just players. They're like,
Yep.
you know,
And they get away with murder, right? Women will
yes,
pay for them. Women will give them gifts. Like it opens doors. I mean, do you remember Marcus Schenkenberg, the supermodel
no,
back in the 80s? Well, anyway, he used to train with me at the gym. 6'3", golden hair matching his golden skin, like crazy shit, right? The speck in his eyes matched the highlight, like natural, just
right.
six pack, built like a freaking Adonis, and so much so that because I trained him because and we ended up being partners, and I would look in the mirror and I go, "Can you just move over a little bit? Like just move over. You make me look like crap. Like move over." And this guy took it all the way. Like he ended up, modeling with Naomi, like Calvin Klein. It was a Calvin Klein model, whatever, right? Handsome guy. No substance, no substance. Like his whole thing was I'm pretty.
Yeah,
Men are supposed to be pretty. Girls are supposed to be pretty. The fair sex is the feminine. So pretty men act like women. They expect the world to, give them, and they do. The problem
yep,
is he's now 50 something. That shit has faded. I haven't seen him, for many years, but because I'm in Los Angeles, I've been around, like when I was dancing, I used to be a professional dancer. I don't know if you knew that.
mm-mm,
Yeah, I used to dance with Michael Jackson and Prince and Paula Abdul and all these people. So
that's
that's
awesome.
my life dancing. So yeah. So I've been around the world, that crowd, right? We do music videos, and all the models show up, girls and
Yep,
boys. Anyway, so, but I'm telling you, I've seen these handsome men and women, beautiful people, right? That was their go-to. That was their power because people just are in awe of that. Like it's kind of natural, like wow. But like by the time it starts fading in their late 30s and 40s, right? Complete desperation. They don't have skills. All they had is their looks, but that starts fading. They freak out. They become manipulators and players. Like, it's really ugly what you see on the other side of that because they never had to build themselves. So
mm-hmm,
character is not in pretty. Character is an opposite of pretty. It's in like having to struggle and fight for something you want, not because the world gives it to you because you're pretty. It's because you have to go fight for it. And that's character. That's swag. That's how guys build himself up. That's how you get confidence, blah, 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 blah. It's not by being pretty. So, ladies, pick with your eyes. You're going to be, it's going to cost you, right? And stop trying to impress your girlfriend because he's got all that's not how it works. That's not how nature works. It's opposite. The exception, this is one of them. It doesn't
yeah.
work.
So do you? I saw on your thing, and I'm curious, like, what
Yeah.
makes a man wanna commit to somebody, to a woman?
Oh, geez, so simple. It's so very simple, right?
Really?
So yes, you understand that again. The numbers are this. I'm a freak with statistics. I'll give you a statistic till like you don't want to hear it anymore. What statistics right now is about 30% of men are boys. Per our damn culture, per having no role models as male, per having, being raised by mama bear, blah, 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 right? Like that's just the worst thing that happens. Boys to not have role models. So 30% of men out there now, boys, is what you're encountering all the time. The rest of us, right? The guys are kind of stuck in the middle, but they're easily rehabilitated. But men and gentlemen, which is the rest of us, so 30% of boys, that means 70% are men, right?
Mhm.
Except the guys, I guess, they're a little bit light, but they're still masculine at the core. That's a lot of us, right? And the men who conquer, provide, protect, cherish, give support are the guys who went after something difficult to do in the world. They have a mission, they have a passion, they have a business model they're looking for, right? They push through their fears, they build their character, right? Which builds them confidence. They're typically successful in life. And when they become successful, what they want, what masculine men want, the reason they work so hard to be successful is when they make money, they now can take care of a woman, get themselves a wife, have some children, build an empire, and leave a legacy. That's all of us. But then It has to be masculine man, not the other two, right?
Okay.
Or at the very bottom, the first one who's so sweet, so cute, so seductive, right? The players, right? That's so masculine men will kill themselves in order to be relevant in the world, to get respect, self-respect, and respect for men and women. And you look up at a guy like this, going, "Wow, look at him! He's really got wow. He's he knows where he's going. That's sexy for a woman."
Mm-hmm.
These men who are traditional, by the way, our role as male has never changed. Feminist movement has not changed a thing for us. It changed everything for you guys. Men are still expected to provide, to protect, to cherish, to support, to give, to pay, blah blah. Like this is again, it's our nature. You don't have to manipulate us into this. The man, not the boys. They don't want any of that. Ladies still want a traditional man who will do all this, right?
Mm.
Our role has not changed. You want a guy to support, to pay, to show up, to make you feel safe, to be bigger, taller, blah, 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 right? I get it. However, culture has taught you ladies to not be traditional, to refuse to be traditional. So these guys are like, whatever, okay, sure. You want to be a boss? See ya. I'm looking for a feminine woman who wants my kids, that will let me
Mm.
take care of her, right?
Yeah.
Guys, so these guys are the committable ones. That's what they want. They kill the world, they kill something out there, they become irrelevant, and they're looking for a feminine woman to build a life with. Otherwise, you have to understand this, right? And I'm not sure if that's going to connect, because you almost have to be a man to get that. As a man, we cannot justify our own existence for ourselves.
What do you mean by that?
If I have nothing to fight for, I'm not going to fight. And the only way I have some reason to get up in the morning is because I have a wife and kids and a house, a house to take care of and a mortgage and a business. So a man who has no responsibilities, right, lives very, very small. You understand? So I need the challenge. I need to take things on for me to be literally, if I live for myself, I have nothing to live for, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could just live in my car. I won't care. For me, I won't care. I need something to live
Right.
for. We cannot make sense of our own existence just for ourselves. We become men because we have to take care of people, take care, like just, you see what I'm saying? So this is where you ladies are essential. I wouldn't be this guy without my wife because I wouldn't care that much.
Right.
You see it? So
Yeah.
understand nature here, right? Men need to be relevant and they need something to live for, right? And what we live for is to build, some kind of business, to be relevant, to take on a wife, to have some kids. That's the meaning of life, and to leave a legacy that I've been here. I was here, I built this, and I have kids to carry my name. That's what
Yeah.
masculine men want. So commitment is not a problem for them. The problem for them, because they complain all the time, is where are the women? They don't want to. They
Yeah.
want to be married, but they don't want to be wives and mothers. But they want to be married. They want all the goodies, but they don't want to do the part that I'm looking for. That
Right.
makes me get up in the morning and want to take care of her. She wanted. So they go next. So men are complaining the same thing when they're complaining. Where are the good men? Where are the good women? Hello, welcome to our culture.
Yeah. And I've talked about this many times before. It's like, men and women are all talking about the small percent where it's
Yeah.
like, a man goes on a date with a woman who doesn't look like her pictures because she faced him and, she's maybe a little bit more overweight or she's like mental manic,
Yep.
whatever it might be. The worst of the worst woman. So that's his experience with women. And then he starts believing that all women are like that. And then the girl goes on the date with the boy or the guy and she's like, he's a player, he's doing this. And then I think that about all men. And then the cycle just keeps continuing.
That happens often.
Yeah. So like what would be like an ideal scenario in this day and age? Because, it isn't the 1950s, but we
Yeah.
still, to our like biological core, want that more traditional polarized relationship. But the reality of it is, most women have to work now. Most
Mhm.
households are two income households. So like what is, I guess, like the ideal scenario
Well,
for
if you look
a
back,
modern day polarity?
yeah, if you look back just a few decades, right? I was raised in the 70s. So in the 70s, all around me, all the school teachers were women who were school teachers because they had to pay their rent. I remember like we had a house with an apartment below, and there was two ladies, two school teachers living in the little apartment below, right? They were single, working. Yeah, because you have to work, right? But they work more feminine job, right? Any supporting role job keeps you less stressed out, right? There were school teachers, like daycare, that kind of stuff. Any kind of assistant to anything as a woman is more in a natural flow. So these women are not hardened necessarily. They're not wiped out. They're not exhausted. They work because they have to work, but all the while looking for a good man right? So they're not trying to outdo men. They do their lives looking for somebody to build with. So it's a
Okay.
calibration, understanding you have to have. If you're going to be a boss and you think being independent, like I have two ladies in my gym right now, right? Like I'm in Los Angeles and they're so proud. One is 30, one's 32. They're so proud that they work so hard. They both have a house in Los Angeles, right? That's a kick in the head. But guess what?
Yeah.
They attract these freaking boys who are trying to move in with them. Understand that a real man will never even consider moving into it with his girlfriend. Never. But the boys are like, woo, make it comfortable. You have a house. Hey. And they'll say stuff like our house. And she's like, it's my house. Right? They're still boyfriend and girlfriend. But he's like, he's going to make himself, he knows a good spot when he finds them, just like women do, right? In the traditional role. I get it. But I mean, I'm like, you completely mess it up, and they're exhausted. Beautiful girls, but they're exhausted. Like everything about them is flat and nobody wants to date them. And if you go on the date, they don't get a second one. I go, I know. Like the essence of what works for us is missing. It's not your fault. You've taken on too much. Owning a house in Los Angeles, and the car and the insurance payments, like all of that is insane by
Yeah.
yourself. So even it's hard for men, never mind women, right? But we have testosterone that helps us kind of be able to push harder. That's just, again, nature and biology. Anyway, these two are so proud of having a house, but they're so overwhelmed and they can't find anybody to date them. The first date, never get a second date. And they go, well, you kind of did it backwards. You're not supposed to build a house being a kingdom and then try to find your prince, right? You're
Well,
supposed to
you would
find your
find a king.
prince
Find a king.
right, and build together, build a kingdom, right?
Mm,
Together, find a house. Together, build a family. But if you do it the other way, again, your energy is wiped out, and the man that you want unattracted to that. And then, I mean, they're doing their best. They think they're doing the right thing, and I feel bad for them, right? And like backwards. And I say, rent the freaking house. Just rent it in Los Angeles. You can make a fortune renting. Rent the house, move in an apartment with a girlfriend, right? Let the mortgage on the house pay for your rent, have some space to breathe, have some like energy to be able to go date and find somebody. You have to be in a space, for you to be open and to be a magnet to us. But if you're
mm,
overwhelmed and stressed out and work like a dog because you have to pay for that fucking mortgage, excuse my French, nobody's looking at you. Not because you're not pretty. You're not available in any way. You're wiped
yeah.
out. Oof,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Is that toxic? Was that triggering?
I actually like what you said about how you can almost like reverse it, like
Yeah.
leave the house, rent it out, get an apartment, because
It'll
it,
ease your life load, which brings you back into your body, which makes you more feminine
Mhm.
and magnetic, period. Now, so to be masculine is to be in your head, to be feminine is in your body. When you live like us, you fight like us, you compete like us, you're up here all the time. This is when you become invisible. As pretty as you are, you disappear from our radar because energetically, all we pick up is feminine energy. Masculine energy, nothing. Right? So, how do you get back into your body? Chill out, pull back, ease up, rent a freaking house. Let that pay and that investment pay for your life to some level, right? You can work, but don't work a job that's going to kill you trying to ease a little bit, right? Then you could do Pilates. You go to the gym, but not be with a boner of trying to be competitive. But I just want to keep yourself in good shape and be healthy. Look up instead of on your phone all the time. Luke is noticing men are all around looking for this feminine glow, and you'll be off the market like this, like this.
How do you how would like a first date go if you're in your feminine
Uh,
and,
Good
a
question.
man's like pursuing you? Like
Good
walk me
question.
so my listeners can understand
Good question.
really.
Now this is like step one out of like 1900.
Mhm.
Well, I'm exaggerating, but like there's a whole progression of all of this, right? So as a woman, I would never, I'm going to say this, it sounds ridiculous, right? But again, this is just the work. Do you understand that if you speak first to a man because you think he's cute, you're the masculine one? You get it?
Yeah.
So you want to look up, you want to make eye contact, you want him to go and smile and give you like a head nod because that's what we do. Don't head nod him. That's masculine, right? Just look and smile. Do you know what I mean? But if you say hi first, you're leaning in. Like it's bad habits. Do you know what I mean? So your job is to magnetize. That's the feminine. So you could look, right? Keep eye contact. He's going to smile. And he, if he's a man, may say hi, right? Even if he's just crossing on the street or in the hallway, like, hi, right? Don't speak. Let men around you lead. It's a challenge for your bosses. You know what I mean? I know, I'm just going to sit there and wait for somebody. Well, yeah, you have to. If you want to be feminine, you're the egg, he's the sperm. He's going to come to you. You're the egg, you sit. If you chase, you become the sperm and you make him the egg. This is what doesn't work. Do you see it? Seriously, it's energy. It's freaking energy. I'm telling you this. It's not your body. It's not your hair. It's not your face. It's the energy that magnetizes the men who want to provide and protect. So So first, in your feminine, you lean back. You don't lean forward in any way. You lean back, but you look up and make eye contact because masculine men are always looking. Radar, all the time. Our
Mhm.
our instinct, our brain, beyond looking for safety, making sure that the place is safe, right? In my environment, like I just do this a scan to make sure everything's cool, right? But we live in a society where it's cool, right? So the rest of our radar is literally instinctively looking for the feminine force, the feminine presence, the feminine energy, right? And then you see pretty girl, oh shit, you know what I mean? So that's nature. But if you get my attention because you're pretty, right? But you're on your
Mhm.
phone, you're signaling you're not available, you don't care, you're not interested. We pick that up in 3 seconds.
Mhm.
Right? So instead of this, right? Now, if you're a pretty girl, get a lot of attention. I get it, it's annoying. But if you don't get off of that, you literally signaling that you don't care, you're not available, right? You're not interested. There's a problem if you're single, looking for a relationship, right? Or somebody to step
Yeah.
up. Get off your freaking phone, right? And look up, look up. And you'll see the boys on their phone. You see the guys halfway on their phone. Man, phones in the car, right? And they're looking around. They're looking. Then you make eye contact. Oh, right? Now stick the eye contact a few more seconds than normal. That signals that you see him. There's a signal there. You know what I mean? Smile. You can say hi in your head. You'll pick that up. It's all energy, right? And if he's a man at
Mhm.
all, he's going to come over, maybe say hi to you, and you can have a conversation. You know what I mean? But he has to lead that. That's how it starts.
Mm.
Now, if he asks you for, if you feel safe because you're a girl, you'll have, energetically, what's in front of you, right? So if you trust it and tap into it and you feel safe and he's masculine enough and gentlemanly enough to come over, and say hi, and there's something about you like to, give your phone number. I'll call you later. Maybe we could go for coffee, get to meet you. That's what men do, right? Again, if you feel safe, go. And from there, lean back. Do not lean in. Interrogate the guy because you don't want to waste your time. That's what doesn't work. This is what men say all the time. Because I send them on dates and I give them the confidence to like ask and blah blah. And they come back, how'd it go? He goes, well, she was beautiful, but she never shut up. I didn't get to ask any questions. She was like drilling into me. It was torture. I didn't get to find out anything about her that I wanted to see if it were a possibility. She was already a pain. Date number one. Next, she was lovely, but she was lovely, but she was pretty, but she was fine, but she was pretty, but. So again, the leaning in, I hate to say this, right? In the name of don't want to waste your time, right? Lean back, right? Open your left side because it's your feminine side. Enjoy your drink, whatever you're drinking, right? Let him ask a
Mhm.
question and just respond. And he's going to think you're fantastic. And then women say, well, if I'm not asking him any question, how do I find out who he is? Very, very simple. Everything he's asking are the things that are important to him or interesting to him. So just
Mm.
listen to what he's asking. He's telling you all about him.
Yeah.
Simple, right? So you don't need to drill into him. If you answer his questions, he thinks you're fantastic. Then he gets in the car because we can't really think when we're with you in the feminine energy. We just kind of just get sucked in. And he gets in the car and goes, wow, she was so cool. Right? You learned about her. Da, 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 da. Now that's how you get a second date. But if you lean
That
in, if he's masculine, he's going to be irritated. I'm just saying.
yeah. I've actually learned that without actually putting it to
Learning
words.
it. Yeah.
Is like it's almost like I started doing it almost to guard myself from dating the boys. I was like, I don't want to give you too much information about myself that you can then twist, manipulate, love bomb.
Because that's what boys do, not men,
Right.
right? Good
And so
girl.
I started doing that where I was like, I'm going to let you talk. I'm going to let you tell me about yourself. I'm going to learn and take in. I'm an internal processor by nature. So I'm like, I'm going to take in everything that you're saying. And then I'm going to decide if I actually like you.
With your ears. You see it?
Yes.
Not your eyes, your ears is the
Yes.
character that shows up, right? Then again, and this is what I said earlier, right? A boy, you'll pick it up like in one day. Like just if you pay attention to what he's asking, you know what to look for, he will reveal himself so quick and you'll be like, okay, nice to meet you. Lose my number. What do you
Yeah.
mean? What do you mean, right? So again, this is that what I teach my ladies instead of dating like this, because most of you date like this. I hope he likes me. I hope he's okay. I hope he's not a cheater. I hope he's a good guy. I hope maybe he's my husband. Like even that energetically is off-putting, right? And you're hoping that you have this idea that perfection will attract us, right? That if you're flawless, TV commercials are famous for that. Flawless
Mhm.
Foundation by L'Oreal, right? You think that flawless is, but we don't see any of that. We don't care about the
Yeah.
lip line. We don't care about the lip liner. We don't care about flawless. We're looking at it's the energy that comes from you, right? If you're good and happy, I'm good and happy. Seriously, that's simple. When you're good, I'm good. When you're happy, I'm happy. When you're actually restful, at peace in your body, you bring me peace. Like
Yeah.
you plug right into you. You don't understand that. It's like that's the paradigm of being in your femininity as much as possible. That's how we actually connect to you. That's how we see you, right? So, like that simple idea of being in your body, being calm, is the magnet.
Yeah. And it's learning what almost like puts you off. So like when you're stressed out or I'll be at my boyfriend's house over the weekend and he has kids and I have kids, but I'll be like I'm tired. Like I need an extra 2 hours. He wakes up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, has coffee, gets up with his kids, like makes breakfast, like handles his whole morning. And I'm like, I
Sleeping in.
needed rest,
Good
and then
girl.
he makes me a coffee and he's like, good morning, and it's so refreshing because I'm like, I'm in tune with my needs and I'm in tune with what I need in the moment. And I'm not running myself so thin to
And
make
again,
everyone.
for us, for him, right? He knows that 2 hours sleep, he's going to benefit from that. And he'll take on the kids and the food. Seriously, I'm dead serious. Well,
Mhm.
we'll handle the shit to keep you in a place where you're right. Because in that space, again, if you're good, I'm good energetically, right? If you're happy, I'm happy. If you're peace, right? You bring me peace. If you're anxious, stressed out, overwhelmed, right? Energetically, I don't want to be around you. So I'm going to make breakfast, trying to get the hell out of there. Like that's not what you want. But
Right.
again, if in a sense, it's all fucking energy, and energy is opposite. That's a magnetism. So if he's masculine, you have to be in your feminine, and he will kill himself to keep you in your feminine by working like a freaking dog. Seriously, we all understand that instinctively. We know this, right? But you don't. You kind of
Interesting.
think often all of my ladies that are struggling are like, they value themselves for the things that they value in us men, masculine man, right? I have a job. I have 2 masters. I make 100 grand. I have a house. I have a car. How come nobody likes me? Because masculine men don't care about any of that. We have that already. We're looking for the feminine. So women think that they're what they build when they conquer business, master's degrees, whatever, education and money makes them more valuable, and it doesn't. Not for the masculine. I have all that. I don't need any of that shit from you. Chill out. Chill out.
Yeah.
Be present. Be present. Right. So I'm gonna say this another one that women don't understand very well. Trigger warning: masculine men are not gonna wait for you to come home at 9 o'clock at night because of your job. They want you available when they're done with work. This is the ultimate masculine, right? So if you work too hard, right, the chances of him marrying you probably not so much because they want you to be available. I'll kill myself for you to be present, to be with me, to be good, to be your body, to be feminine, to be grateful, to appreciate all my efforts. You don't have to do it. I don't need you to do all that. It takes
Yeah.
you away from me. It takes away from what the magnetism, right? So chill out, chill out. My favorite thing, my wife is about, she works part time at the colleges, right? But often a 3 hour class, with 45 minutes both ways to travel, it's a lot of energy, right? My favorite thing is she comes home, right, and I'm on here because I just spend my life here. And so you come in, and when I'm done, I go find her. She's taking a nap. Oh, that's my girl. That's my girl. I don't think she's lazy. She does sometimes. We knocked that out. We had the conversation. She doesn't want to appear lazy. Like, who takes a nap? Are you kidding me? Just take a nap, relax, chill, have some food, go sit outside in the sun, right? Just get yourself back. That's the magnetism. I'll kill myself to keep it like this. Well,
Mm.
women have lost track of that. Like you think it's everything that you do that makes you feel, that makes you valuable. Masculine men, the one that you want, are not interested in any of that. We don't care about your money, your master's degree. I mean, it's interestingly part of you, but I'm
Mhm.
going to say this. There's another one. Are you ready? There we go. There's another
Yeah.
one. Masculine man. We were talking about commitment earlier, right? Masculine
Mhm.
man, not the boys. Masculine man will not commit to a woman who's committed to something else. Ouch. I'm gonna say it again. Masculine men do not commit to women who are committed to something else. If your job, your business, your career is more important than us, I'm gonna find somebody who's more into us first. You can still have all that, but
Mhm.
if that's your priority number one, your A plan, I'm becoming the B plan. A masculine man will not take you on.
Mm.
He'll never commit to you fully, right? He'll keep you to play with because you're fun or whatever. But you want the commitment. Masculine men do not commit to women who are committed to something else. And again, it's not like you don't get to do anything, But if you're not going to prioritize us because that's what he wants, right? And you prioritize something else, you won't commit. You won't. Hello, right? It gets call. And it's again, it's nature.
Yeah.
It's just what works best, right? So, again, it's not like you don't get to work. That's not what I'm saying. When you go back to the 50s, that's not it. It's calibration, right? Understand
Right.
what the masculine men want, right? In order for all this, like again, in the end, you win. You provide, protects, cherish, give support, lead, pay. That's no manipulation needed with these guys, but you have to be in your feminine. Even though you work, my wife here is working, right? Always has. Since she was 6 years old. I'm not going to take that. I don't want to take that away from her. That's a passion,
Right.
right? Part time gets all the benefits, $50 an hour with all the benefits. Part time, she gets to be a mom and a wife, take care of the house, be in her feminine, chill out, not work
Yeah.
so hard, be in her body, take a nap, sit in the sun. That's having it all, right?
Right.
Her purpose is to teach young adults, her world, the entire world for her whole life and mentor them into dancing part time. That's a woman who has it all.
Yeah.
But
No,
if you get stuck in the masculine, you don't get the family. That's what I'm saying. If you A plan, B plan becomes the A plan, which always usually happen, you miss the boat.
yeah. So you're basically saying like you can't be in your masculine and then expect to find a masculine and
Ta-da.
then switch into a more feminine
Right.
traditional
It
dynamic.
doesn't work. And I'm gonna tell you something. I have like one of the girls at my gym, that's with the other gym, different calibration of people, I want to say, because my gym here is expensive. So I have a whole different kind of, personality type. More like, anyway, so this girl was 2 master's degrees, smart as hell, right? You could debate, we'll take everybody apart. But at 27, and remember we started talking because when she realized what I do, she's like, oh, asking me asking question, right? How come? Why? Man, how do I? Right? And what she came to is she's like, I realized at 27, 2 master's degrees, boss babe, could do whatever she wants, right? Smart as hell. Said, I want to live in a love lane. And I go, what does that mean? She goes, I want a life of love. And I have to understand what men need, right? That's when I came in. Like, how do you attract a masculine man, the man who will provide, protect? So that was her hard calling. Excuse me. I want to have 2 children. I want to be there in the morning to get them out of bed. I want to feed them. I want to take care of them. I want to, be the mom. I want to love, 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 love first. I want to love a man who's going to meet children that I'm going to love and is going to allow me to take care of them in a nurturing, motherly way. I want to be there to put them to bed at night, right? Like da 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 da. She went into like the love lane, right?
Mm.
Not the money lane, right? So you ladies often want both lanes, and you can't do both lanes. It's one or the other. Seriously, I'm dead serious. If you go into the money lane, your love lane will suffer or non-existent. If you go into the love lane, your money lane is going to suffer, but that's what we are here for.
Right.
So anyway, my point is, right, she tuned it in a little bit, kind of like wanted, that was very clear for her. And I'm really proud of her because that's what saved her. Because she would have got sucked into go girl, right? She had it already, but she wanted a life of love, found this guy. He was like 15 years, almost 15 years older than her, businessman, money coming out his nose. He had given up on finding a wife. He wanted a
Wow.
wife the whole time, but nobody wants to be a wife. He wanted kids. Nobody wants to be a mother. They want to marry, but they want to not be. He had given up finding a wife, money, resources, all of this. You know what I mean? Couldn't find a woman to have kids with. She shows up, poof, right? She wanted what he wanted.
Mhm.
Now it's funny. She says to me, it's so easy because the more I discover what works for him as a man, as a provider, naturally, she goes, the more I take care of me, right? The environment that he lands in at the end of the day, right? And take care of him. He goes, he works more. We make more money. Like the house is big. Like everything works differently. All I have to do is literally take care of him, take care of the kids, take care of the house so they can work 10-hour days. Do you know what I mean? And he does better. I'm like, well, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
But to her, that was a big surprise. Even after they were married, and like taking care of him is simple, really. One of the things they used to fight about, she said, is, and again, we talked about this earlier, right? Men won't commit to a woman who's committed to something else, right? Like she has to be available to him. So he
Mhm.
works like a dog. So his thing was at 8:30 at night. I've done the same thing. I've done the exact same thing before I even knew how that worked. At 8:30 at night, when the kids are in bed, he wants her right here, right here. Come sit
Mhm.
with me. Come sit with me. Come sit with me. Because that's how we connect. We connect by bringing you into our space. You connect by talking. We don't want that. We don't need that. Not at the end of the day. I just want you to be with me. hopefully
Yeah.
quietly. Seriously, I could watch TV, I could read a book, I could read a newspaper, I could be right here. Right? That's how we connect. That's intimacy for us. Not talking. Right? So she says, they for a while they were struggling. At 8 o'clock, 8:30 is like he's in his bed, right, doing whatever he's doing, but I think probably watching TV, and insisting that she joins him. That's available to him, connecting with this
Mhm.
girl. He's like, I'm doing the dishes because you don't want to see it in the morning when I get up. He goes, I don't care about the freaking dishes. Get over here. But to her, she's like, she doesn't like the dishes in the sink in the morning. And so she would like try to quiet the environment. And she goes, when I understood, all you want is me next to him. That's all you want.
Yeah.
That's all you want. Put a dish rag over the dishes, right? Because he doesn't care about that, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so again, she goes, the more I give him what he wants, it's very simple, right? He's a man, the warm place to land, a little bit of food in the fridge, right? And take care of the kids, the things that doesn't have to worry about, the kids, the house, right? The blah, blah, blah. He conquers the world even harder. I'm like, yeah, that's a man. Look at
Yeah.
you. Anyway, and then she's living the life she wants. And the kids are 6 or 7 now, I think, each
Okay.
live in a huge freaking house, right? She has her mother living with them,
That's
right?
amazing.
Like, yeah, that she has a life. She's
Yeah.
not trying to hold herself, she like I said, she gave up being a boss for the life of love. Okay. Like that's another I think that's a better life.
Right. I completely agree with
I could
you.
do this all day. I could do this all day long. You get it, right? I could do
I
this
no,
all
I
day.
love it. I love it.
Ugh,
So, just for the sake of time,
yes.
what are things that my listeners could do, almost like little tweaks immediately to become more feminine, to attract a masculine man, to live life in the love lane,
Yeah.
whatever it might be.
Well, it's a choice first. You have to want it, right? The 2 ladies I told you about in my gym who have houses, right? They don't want to hear any of this because they would have to reframe their entire value system. They value themselves for what they do, not who they are.
Mhm.
So that's masculine, and they don't like they were raised that way, and I understand it. Dad, sometimes fathers will lean to their daughter to keep them safe by making them super independent, right? And productivity becomes a go-to to get daddy's love. That's what happened to these two, right? That's not their fault, but in order for them to do anything we just talked about, they would have to reevaluate the entire value system that they have about themselves in the world and what's important to them, right? So again, they think productivity makes them valuable and lovable. That's not it. Anyway, so that's first you have to catch that, I would say to your listeners, right? Like, where's your values? If you really think that unless you're working, making money, you're not valuable enough to to a relationship, that's problem number one. So that, secondly, if you realize, oh, okay, well, now that I get it, let me just kind of like get myself more grounded in my body, out of
Mhm.
your head, masculine, into your body, feminine. So any kind of self-care routine brings a woman in her body. Anything that feels good brings you into your body. So getting your hair done once every 6 weeks doesn't do it. Getting your nails done once a month doesn't do it, right? It's a daily ritual of, focusing inwards and grounding yourself. For me, and as a man, I need to do more because women, excuse me, it's more important for a woman to be grounded than a man, right? We're heady and we push, right? You know what I mean? For you to be in your feminine, your body. So anything that pulls you down, pulls you back, but sitting in the sun, taking a walk in nature will do it, right?
Mhm.
Animals, fluffy things will do it, right? Taking care of yourselves in any way, taking a bubble bath, right? And just literally connect to your senses. That's what brings you in
Mm.
your body. Everything you see, smell, taste, touch, and feel, right? Anything that brings in your body out of your head would be the first place to start. That's what I do with my
Okay.
clients. I go into a ritual of how do you get yourself grounded every morning to be in your feminine and try to stay in your feminine. Even when they go to work, right? They don't get to be overridden so hard when they are body centered. And what they do is even at lunchtime, when they get derailed because they sucked into their heads, right? They understand, oh, okay, go with the girlfriends, right? And go for lunch with the girlfriends. It's just chat, 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 and do the
Mhm.
girl thing, do the girl thing, right? And kind of thing. They take breaks, in between work stuff. They'll take a break in a coffee room just to chat for 10 minutes and get themselves kind of reconnected, right? So whatever out of your head into your body, like this, whatever it is that works for you, right? And these things have to be done daily, typically in the morning to set you up to be more in your body throughout the day, even if you work. And then typically you have to continue another ritual after work to get you back into your body.
Mhm.
So I have a client in Delaware, she's a beautiful girl, invisible to man, right? She was shielded. She's been neglected a lot as a kid. So mistrusting, right? So very shielded, gorgeous, invisible to man. But again, for her, same thing. She knew she was connected to spirit enough that she knew she had 2 kids that weren't trying to come through. Very spiritual girl, right?
Mm.
But her reality was never going to create that.
Mhm.
So she did the work. She did the work, and I'm bringing her before because I'm just I saw her picture in my head and I lost my train of thought. But again, her core was these 2 children had to come through, right? She wanted to be in her feminine, and she did the work. Same thing. We got her in her body, and so her thing is that's what I was going to say. So she worked with a small like mom and pop kind of Home Depot. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So working because single, she has to work and carry her life, carry her blah 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 blah,
Right.
right? Masculine, masculine. But when she learned to be in her body, she goes, I hate going to work. I hate it. It takes so much out of me, right? But I says, well, you have to do it. But how do you get back into your body? Because if you want to find a man, attract a masculine man, you have to be in your body. So she'd say, I go to work. She'd do her morning ritual. She'd go to work. She goes, I get out of work 5 o'clock. I'm in my masculine. I could tell. She goes, I get in my car. I'm a dude. But before going anywhere, she'd start the car, turn on some music. She would sing. I think she's an R&B singer. She would sing along to the music. Oh, ears and voice activated, right? Senses
Mhm.
activated. Then she had rose oil in her car that she would pull out as the car's running, the radio's going, right? And she go get her right back in her body. Smells good, right? Like seriously, that's a ritual to get you in your freaking body. And then she had this, I think it's called a sable brush, like something you use, like it's natural fur hair that you
Okay.
use for cleanse your face, whatever. She had one in her car that she kept dry, right? And she would rub it on her skin, creating oxytocin. Oxytocin means to go,
Mm.
and she goes, I got in the car as a dude. I came out of the car wherever I went in the world. I was a girl.
Mm.
I was a girl. I looked up. I was present. I was smiley. I was calm. I was relaxed. I was a girl. And then she started dating, and sure enough, what's his name showed up. Now they have 2 kids. I'm just saying. I'm showing up. Factual. But the ritual was daily ritual to get her in her body. That's what I would say. So first make the decision of what you want. Right? You could be a boss. That's good, but it may cost you the rest of your life. It may cost you the goodies that you realize you're going to want later, right? You don't want to
Mhm.
be missing out. You don't want to be a statistic. Having it all is kind of the other way around. Relationship first and business later.
Right.
That's what works better. Think for yourself first. Understand what nature calls for most. Understand what men want. Your feminine radiance. That's it. Your energy, your presence. That's it. It's not that complicated. So, and all that, and open those channels. Like I always say, you could be a boss at work. I'm going to be crass now, right? You could be a boss at work all day long. That's beautiful. That's fine. Don't undo any of that. What I say is leave your balls at work, flip your energy, right? And then
Mhm.
show up in the world as a feminine, warm woman. Men will notice and smile and talk to you. Women will be nicer to you. Children will smile and dogs come sniffing. It changes your environment completely. Same person, change the energy, the world around you changes. It's a little tedious to learn. It's practicing, but
Mhm.
that's the magic. And like I said, I do this to my clients. 2 years later, I marry them with some fantastic man who's like provide, protects, and you know what I mean?
Wow.
It works. That's what works best. I could do this all day long.
So, how do people get in touch with you to work with you?
Yeah, so I have also 2 gifts for your listeners, which is kind of fun. So if you go to my website, Project Equinox. Equinox is balance between masculine and feminine, black and white, light, dark and light. I thought it was clever. ProjectEquinox.net. And you can spend the day there. I'm on all social media under Andre Parody and or Project Equinox. Right. You go to my website, there's a lot of blogs that I write, stuff that I write. But you can spend the day on there. That's one place. But like I said it earlier, I do a lot of podcasting because my God mission is to spread this to the world. Ladies,
Mhm.
there is a way, there is hope. Man, there is a way, there is hope, right? It's just our culture is keeping everything much more difficult than what works better. Again, it's not going back to the 50s. It's a modern way to do what works best. That's what I'm offering. Anyway, so as I do podcasts to spread the word to the world, because I'm supposed to, the mission in the end is to teach this to the masses. So thank you for helping me spread the word. I notice there's 2 types of listeners on podcasts. So we'll let the audience qualify themselves. There are listeners who are just kind of jumping in with like that masculine feminine thing. What is that? I know I'm struggling. So I call them information seekers. So if you're a lady information seeker right now listening, right, I will send you directly to my email. Gift number 1. You go to Andre Coaching 1, ANDRE, coaching number 1 at Gmail. That's my direct email. And in the subject box, just write irresistible book. This is a book that I sell on my website. It's called The Five Feminine Qualities High Value Men Find Absolutely Irresistible. I sell this. It's a 30-page book. It's a workbook. You have to fill it out. I'll send it to you for free digitally. Just ask for it. Ladies, and by the way, the five feminine qualities has nothing to do with your looks, your height, your hair color, your butt size, none of it. It's energetically how men find you magnifying and high value. In fact, this is my work with men. This is men speaking. So, information seekers, lady, boom. You could also ask me a question. Tell me I'm full of crap. Challenge me. I can back it up. And you go, so if men are listening, information seekers, just ask me a question. So that's number one people. Second listeners, I call them the action takers, I want to say. Like
Okay.
something I said resonated and they go, maybe this guy knows some stuff. And so if you're an action taker, Andre Coaching One at Gmail, and then the subject box, write talk now. I'll send you my calendar link. And we'll have a conversation like you and I are having side by side with, people don't call somebody like me because life is good or things are great, right? They're kind of stuck in a loop or confused or frustrated, and they realize, like you said, right? Like you realize it was you, right? If it's always the same thing, it's you. And factual, that's why I say this all the time. It's you. It's not men. It's not women. It's you. It's like you're filtered how your upbringing that puts you in an energy that doesn't create what you want. So anyway, if you're an action taker, Andre Coaching One, talk now. I'll send you a calendar link. Have a conversation like this. My favorite thing in a call like this is the first 15 minutes, we actually go right to your childhood to explain how you get to be stuck in that energy, men and women. It's so simple. I'm really good at this. And then from there, you realize you're actually not broken. You're a product of your past, right? I always say I can't get anybody a healthy relationship until we release the garbage in the past, the baggage. So when you understand where that came from, like you're not broken. Like, seriously, for some people to change their lives, just understand they're not broken. They're just, oh. Now, from that place, then we'll talk about if you want to work on this stuff, like with me, right? It's an offer. It's no pressure. It's different packages. Andre Go One, talk now. It takes a little courage, but this is who I am. No pressure, right? We'll just hash it out. You'll get some aha like you kind of did, but personal. Then it's up to you. So that's what I'm offering.
That is amazing. Thank you for offering that to our listeners.
You're welcome.
Anybody who's listening to this, you know that Andre is a straight shooter who's not going to, waste your time and is truly interested in your growth. So I am always open for opinions on this podcast. So if you agreed with something, disagreed with something, please leave it in the comments so that we can continue the conversation. I love hearing your guys' point of view as well. So thank you, Andre, for being on the podcast.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to hear what everyone thinks of it.
Let us find out. I'm curious too, by the way.
Me too.